Today, we are going to look at some common verbs used in everyday English. These are words you will hear all the time in real conversations, at work, at school, and at home. Let's go through them one by one. The first word is connect. When you connect two things, you bring them together so they work as one. Think about connecting your phone to the internet or connecting two pieces of a puzzle. In everyday life, people also use this word when they talk about relationships. If you feel connected to someone, it means you understand each other well and feel close. A native speaker might say, "I need to connect my laptop to the Wi-Fi," or "She really connects well with her students." You can also hear it in an emotional sense, like "I felt an instant connection with her when we first met." The next word is consider. To consider something means to think about it carefully before you decide. It is not a quick thought. It is a slower, deeper kind of thinking. For example, if someone offers you a new job, you do not just say yes or no right away. You consider it. You think about the salary, the location, the hours. Native speakers use this word a lot. You might hear, "She is considering moving to a new city," or "Please consider my offer before you decide." It can also be used when you are thinking about other people's feelings, like, "He never considers how his words affect others." Now let's look at contain. To contain something means to have it inside, or to keep it from spreading. A bottle contains water. A bag contains your things. But people also use this word in more interesting ways. When someone is very angry or upset, they might try to contain their emotions, meaning they try to keep their feelings from coming out. A native speaker might say, "This jar contains honey," or "She could barely contain her excitement when she heard the news." You can also hear it used about problems, like, "The doctors worked hard to contain the spread of the illness." The next word is continue. To continue means to keep going, to not stop. If you are reading a book and you take a break, when you come back, you continue reading. It is a very simple but very useful word. Native speakers use it constantly. You might hear, "She continued speaking even after everyone left the room," or "Let's continue this conversation tomorrow." It is also used to talk about situations like, "The rain continued all through the night." Sometimes people say, "Continue on," which means the same thing and sounds very natural in conversation. Now we have contribute. To contribute means to give something, whether it is time, money, ideas, or effort, to help a group or a cause. If you are working on a team project and you share your ideas, you are contributing. If you give money to a charity, you are contributing. Native speakers say things like, "She contributes a lot to every meeting," or "Everyone contributed something to the dinner." It is a word that shows you are being helpful and active, not just watching. You can also hear, "His research contributed to a major discovery." The next word is convince. To convince someone means to make them believe something or agree to do something. You use words, reasons, or evidence to change someone's mind. For example, if your friend does not want to go to the gym with you, you might convince her by saying it will be fun and good for her health. Native speakers say things like, "She convinced her parents to let her study abroad," or "I'm not convinced that this is the right decision." You can also say, "It took a long time, but she finally convinced him to see a doctor." Notice that you always convince someone of something, or convince someone to do something. And our last word today is depend. To depend means to need someone or something, or to be decided by something else. When you depend on a person, it means you trust them and need their help. When something depends on a situation, it means the result is not fixed yet. Native speakers use this word in two main ways. First, "She depends on her sister for advice." Second, "It depends on the weather," or just, "It depends," which is one of the most common short answers in English conversation. If someone asks, "Are you going to the party?" a very natural answer is, "It depends. I have to see how I feel." Now let us quickly go over all 7 words one more time. Connect means to bring things or people together. Consider means to think carefully about something. Contain means to hold something inside or keep it under control. Continue means to keep going without stopping. Contribute means to give something to help a group or cause. Convince means to make someone believe or agree with you. And depend means to need someone or to be decided by a situation. These 7 words are all very powerful in daily conversation. Once you start noticing them, you will hear them everywhere. In the next section, we will look at each word again with pictures and sentences. And after that, we will listen to some real conversations.
Connect. She connects her phone to the speaker. Connect. She connects her phone to the speaker. Consider. She is considering a new job. Consider. She is considering a new job. Contain. The box contains fresh apples. Contain. The box contains fresh apples. Continue. She continued walking in the rain. Continue. She continued walking in the rain. Contribute. She contributes money to the school. Contribute. She contributes money to the school. Convince. She convinced her mom to buy a dog. Convince. She convinced her mom to buy a dog. Depend. The plan depends on the weather. Depend. The plan depends on the weather. Consider. She is considering a new job. Contribute. She contributes money to the school. Convince. She convinced her mom to buy a dog.
So, I have been thinking about volunteering this weekend. There is a community garden project near the park. Do you ever do things like that?
Sometimes. It really depends on how busy I am. But a community garden sounds nice. What do they do exactly?
They grow vegetables and give them to families who need food. Everyone can contribute in different ways. Some people plant seeds, some people water the plants, and some just help clean up the area.
That is a good way to help. Do you think one person can really make a difference?
I do. Even small things add up. If you contribute just 2 hours on a Saturday, that is 2 hours more than nothing. And when many people do it together, it becomes something really meaningful.
I never considered doing something like that before. I always thought volunteering was for people with a lot of free time.
A lot of people think that. But it does not have to take the whole day. You can continue doing your normal life and still find small ways to give back.
That is a good point. I guess I always felt like I had to do something big, or not do anything at all.
That is a very common feeling. But the truth is, even showing up is enough to start. You do not have to be there every week.
Okay, so how does the garden project work? Do you just show up, or do you have to sign up first?
You can just show up, but they do ask you to connect with the organizer before you come. There is a simple online form. You fill it out and she sends you the details.
That sounds easy enough. Is the organizer nice?
Very. She is really good at making everyone feel welcome. She connects people who have similar interests so they can work together and enjoy it more.
I like that idea. It is better when you feel like you belong to a group.
Exactly. And once you are there, you start to see that the work is not just about plants. It is about the community. People talk, share stories, and help each other out.
Do you think I would fit in? I do not know much about gardening.
Absolutely. Nobody expects you to know everything. The point is just to show up and try. I'm sure you would enjoy it once you get started.
I'm a little nervous, honestly. I do not usually join groups I do not know.
I understand that. But consider this. You already know one person who will be there. That makes it easier, right?
True. Having a familiar face helps a lot. Okay, I am starting to come around to the idea.
Good. And once you are there, I think you will want to continue going back. A lot of people start as first-timers and then come every single weekend.
Really? What keeps them coming back?
I think it is the feeling of doing something real. In everyday life, a lot of things feel complicated or out of your control. But in the garden, you plant something, you water it, and it grows. It is simple and satisfying.
I can see that. Sometimes simple things are the most grounding.
Exactly. And the vegetables they grow contain no chemicals at all. Everything is completely natural. So the food is really good quality, too.
Oh, that is a great bonus. Fresh vegetables with no chemicals. I would love that.
So are you in? This Saturday morning around 9.
I think so. You almost had to convince me, but I think I convinced myself in the end.
That is the best way. When you make the decision yourself, you feel better about it.
Okay. I will fill out that online form tonight. What should I wear?
Just comfortable clothes you do not mind getting dirty. And bring water. It can get warm even in the morning.
Got it. I am actually looking forward to it now.
I am glad. It will be a good morning. And who knows, maybe you will convince someone else to come next time.
Maybe I will. If I enjoy it as much as you say, I would love to share it with others.